everybody, today I'm going to be reviewing this Orchard Corset CS-345 Underbust in tan cotton. So here's the front, the side, the back, and the other side. The center front of this corset is 12.5 inches high. From the underbust down to the bottom here at the princess seam is about 10 inches. The side seam at the highest part that this little cut of the hip goes over the iliac crest here, this is 9 inches high, and in the center back it is 13 inches high. So you can see from the side view that the corset kind of goes diagonally from the front to the back of my body. It starts out quite low in the front and the lower tummy here, and then the entire thing just swoops up on both the top and bottom edges here, swoops up to give you a pretty high back, and it stops just about the tailbone area in the back. For these circumferential measurements, right now I'm wearing a size 24 corset. Right now I'm wearing it with about an inch gap in the back. The hips here at the iliac crest are 32 inches. My natural iliac crest is about 33-34 inches, so that's why I have a little bit of a gap to make it more comfortable. And the rib cage area here is about 30 inches. So if I were to wear this corset comfortably to my measurements, then it would actually have an A-shaped gap in the back, where the underbust would pretty much be completely closed and the bottom would have about a 2-inch gap. And for the sake of this review, I'm wearing it really quickly with a parallel gap in the back so that you can accurately see the proportion of the rib cage to the waist to the hips on a person that it would fit theoretically perfectly. But as it stands right now, I have just a little bit of room in the rib cage here and the hips are a little bit pinchy, so let me change that. One thing that I like about the fit of this corset is the high back here. You can see now I have the A-shape gap going on in the back. So this high back, it really helps to support my posture and it helps to prevent any muffin top from happening. However, one bugaboo I have about the fit of this corset is the lower tummy area here. When I turn to the side, it's actually kind of coming away from my own lower tummy, and it makes my tummy appear larger in profile than I actually naturally have. So if they were able to actually take some material from these front panels and move them over to the side panels where my hips actually are, then it would actually make the hips more comfortable for me, and it would also help this front to lay a little bit smoother against my own lower tummy. So here is the CS-345 corset laid flat, and for the materials, when I feel between the layers and separate them with my fingers, there are at least 3 layers. So the fashion fabric is this cotton twill. There is a pretty thick interlining in between the fashion fabric and the lining here, and the lining obviously is also a layer of black cotton twill. And here very quickly is another CS-345. This one has the snaps or the poppers, and you can just undo one side of them to get in and out of the corset. Just undo the busk there, and there you go. If you don't like these little straps, you can take them off completely, but then you have this underside of the popper still there. And when you put them back on, do be sure that you have them on in the right order, because these are not all the same length, so you do have to put them in on the right order. And here are the labels. So that's the Orchard Corset label, and here is the label that has the content, the care instructions, and the size and the place of manufacture. For the construction of this corset, it is a 6-panel pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it was made using the welt seam method, like I mentioned in some previous videos, where panel 1 was first created and flatlined, and then the 2 layers of panel 2 were basically sandwiching the layers of panel 1, sewn with the right sides together, folded over, pressed, with a top stitch here, and then the 2 layers of panel 3 sandwich the layers of panel 2 between them, and so on and so forth until you get to the back of the corset here. So these seams are obviously double stitched, and it has single boning at each seam here. And the inside is kind of interesting here because you can see that the waist tape is exposed. It's about 1 inch wide satin ribbon here that had first been sort of glued down, and then it was stitched down when the boning channels were made. So this runs from between panels 1 and 2 and and then stops at between panels 5 and 6 here. So it's a partial waist tape, but not a full one that goes from the busk to the grommets. And you'll also notice that it goes on a slant. Actually, when I was wearing the corset, you might have even seen a faint outline of the slant. So it comes down towards the lower tummy, and then it slants up around over the top of the hip bone, and then towards the middle upper back, actually. Here's a close-up of the binding, made from bias strips of matching tan cotton twill that is machine stitched on the outside. Also on the inside here, both of the top stitch on both sides. There are some garter tabs in this corset. There are a total of 6 of them, 3 on each side. The Modesty panel in the back of this corset is about 5 inches wide, so about 3.5 inches of usable space once it's flipped over. The grommet area here, and it is unstiffened, made once again from 3 layers. The tan twill on the outside, interlining, and the black twill on the inside here. And it is attached down, anchored down on one side with just a seam, just a row of stitching there. So it can be removed if you want to. And in the front, there is also an unstiffened 1/2 inch wide Modesty placket, just made from matching tan twill. The busk by itself is 11.5 inches long, and it has 5 loops and pins. The last 2 are a little bit closer together for a little bit more control over that lower tummy. It is a 1/2 inch wide busk on each side, and it does have a little bit of flexibility to it, but it is a little bit stiffer than some other flexible busks that I've tried in the past. There are a total of 14 bones in this corset. They are all steel boned, as they all attract my magnet here. On the seams here between the panels, there are 1/4 inch wide spiral steel bones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then on the back here are 2 1/4 inch wide flat steel bones. And here's a close-up of the grommets. There are a total of 24 of them, 12 on each side, and they are spaced equidistantly apart, about 1 inch apart. They all seem to be holding in fairly well. Their size 00 with a small to medium flange around them. And here's the underside, so you can see all of these have a nice big washer around them. 1 to 2 splits in each of the back of these grommets, but they don't seem to be catching on the laces, so it's not a huge deal. And the laces are 1/4 inch wide, black flat nylon shoelace style laces. They are long enough, they have a little bit of spring to them, but as you lace the corset more, the lace actually sort of stretches out and gets rid of its springiness. So it seems to glide well through the laces. It does have a bit of friction in it, so you do need a bit more strength when lacing this up compared to other corsets that might have bigger grommets or ribbon style lacing. The one thing though is that I had to change the way that this corset was laced, because before, and you might have seen this in a previous video, the waistline was way up here and my waistline is right there. So like right at the bottom of these sets of grommets, so it was far too high, and that seems to be a general trend from this company, that the laces tend to put the bunny ears much higher than my natural waist is. And if I open up the laces a little bit, you can also see that I put inverted bunny ears here to give me a little bit more control at the waistline when I'm tying up, because the bones tend to twist a little bit in their channels here and bow out at the waistline. I try to combat that a little bit. In the future, I might actually sew a little line of stitching right next to this outer bone here and try to anchor it in place a little bit better so that it doesn't have the room to twist in its channel. The CS-345 underbust is available on the Orchard Corset website, ranging from sizes 16 inches closed waist all the way up to 46 inches closed waist, and it ranges in price from $79 up to $87 depending on the size. And this concludes my review of the Orchard Corset CS-345 underbust. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something new. If you did, please remember to click that like button wherever it is on this page now, either there on desktop or there on mobile. And I will see you guys in a few days for another video. Bye.